To say thank you so much for everyone for joining us today at the East Hampton Library for our program. We're joined today by Dana. She's going to be doing a program on new moon cycles. So Dana, the floor is yours. Thank you so much for being here today.
All right. Hi, guys. So if any of you have been to any of my talks before, you know that I usually talk about health and nutrition because I'm a dietitian, but I also study, more like functional based medicine, and I think spirituality is just as important, and spiritual health is just as important as physical health, because there is this like mind, body, soul connection that really, if you don't have all three working together, you have imbalances in any of the other ones, you can actually manifest physical illnesses that are more like emotional or spiritual based. So I love working with the moons and the moon cycles in order to just help my like spiritual wellness. And I figured, since we've got a lot going on astrologically speaking in the world right now, we could do a little new moon like circle type of meditation thing today. So I encourage you guys to, if you have, this is going to be a little bit more interactive than most of my other talks. So if you have like a journal or pen and paper around, I would get it out. That way you can kind of take your own notes, and we'll be doing some like journaling, some meditation stuff. So just be prepared to be a little bit more interactive this time. So anyways, today is December 14th. It is a new moon in the sign of Sagittarius, and it is also a solar eclipse. So very interesting what's going on in the stars right now. Let's see, there we go. For those of you who don't know what a new moon is, it is the start of a lunar calendar. So it's the first lunar phase of the moon cycle. It's typically when you can't see the moon. It's in the terms of like the planets, when the moon is in between the sun and the earth, so that it's not visible from where we are. It's not illuminated. And it's one of like the darker periods. We get to see a lot of stars, which is nice, but there's no light from the moon in the sky. It's also the beginning of like a new personal cycle. So new moons are typically great for like turning over a new leaf, starting new projects, manifesting things, kind of looking at like what are your goals for the next month or so, or that next lunar cycle, and trying to manifest those, writing down your intentions. I will say though, we are in a solar eclipse, which we'll get to in the next couple of slides, but that kind of changes things a little bit. The new moon has a lot of effects, not just on like the earth, but it has a strong gravitational pull. You can see that with the tides in like the ocean, and during new moons and full moons we have those really big tide changes. But if you think about the human body is 70% water. So if you think that moons don't affect you in any way, that's like physiologically impossible because we are water. We are affected by the moon's pull, that gravitational pull. It can affect your mood, it can affect your health, your sleep. Research has actually been done on this, which I thought was really cool, and blood pressure and heart rate can be lower during new moons. It can also help to accelerate hair growth. It can make weight loss easier, typically in the sense of more of like water and fluid loss, and it can increase your sex drive, and it's also a really good time for conceiving a child. Females in particular, we go through cycles, monthly cycles, and this tends to correlate with the moon. If the more in sync you are, the more in sync you'll realize your cycle is with the moon cycles. And that's just another indication that we are so affected by the moon. I can say from working in the hospital, new moons and full moons, you always get, the ER is always full on new moons and full moons. It's very interesting because you'll see a lot of like cardiac issues, heart stuff coming up, especially with the new moon's effect and like water balance, same thing with like kidney things. So it's really cool to kind of see how it all intertwines. As for the new moon in Sagittarius with the total solar eclipse, which is happening, it actually happened this morning at 11:17. But Sagittarius is known for its optimism, spontaneity, and sense of adventure. and it represents an opportunity to be bold. So this new moon is really encouraging us to explore our creativity. Sagittarius is a mutable sign, which means that it's kind of, it falls in between two seasons. And that means that it really just shakes loose any energy to help prepare you for what's going to be going on next. So if you feel like you're a little chaotic lately in the past couple of days, that's okay. And when you have the eclipse on top of it, that is just like a whole cosmic reboot, which really means we've got a lot of energy kind of floating around. Eclipses are a time for a cosmic refresh. Like I said, this energy can really be very turbulent because it is in Sagittarius, the moon. Anyone who's a fire sign, if you don't know your astrological sign, you can look it up online and you just put in your birth date. But you guys are going to feel it the most. And some of the things that we associate with a new moon in Sagittarius, some of these like keywords are things like expansion and freedom, education, independence, adventure, humor, honesty, questioning, and exploration. Sorry, there's a typo there. But you can really see like all of these words kind of have to do with the same thing of just like getting out there, this like freedom, this expansive energy that we really want to be feeling. So with the eclipse, that kind of puts a little twist on things. Typically with a new moon, we want to be writing down all of our manifestations and all these intentions and all this amazing stuff. But when you have an eclipse going on, you almost want to not do that. You want to sit back into your body and kind of just observe what's going on around you. Eclipses are more of a time for letting the cosmic energy do all the work rather than you putting in a ton of work, which is pretty cool. So if anyone has been having any like weird dreams or anything else, just like waking up at night, if you can't remember your dreams, but you wake up and you just feel so exhausted, like you can't get enough sleep, that has a lot to do with the eclipse and the new moon going on. We've been in an eclipse portal for the past 2 weeks since November 30th, which was a full moon. And that was a lunar eclipse then. So there's been a lot of just energy moving the past 2 weeks that you might feel like, whether you felt it in your dreams or you've just felt it in terms of like, you feel like you can't get enough sleep, you're exhausted, or maybe your mind's just racing all the time. That's probably has a lot to do with the eclipses. It's really a good time to slow down, a good time to rest, to drink lots of water. The universe is kind of telling us to do less right now. So for today, we're going to kind of do like this little new moon ritual circle, whatever you want to call it. I like to use the term ritual, but if you're not comfortable with that, you can call it whatever you want to call it. Practice. We're going to do a little bit of astrology. So I'm going to kind of go through all of the signs and read you guys your horoscope for this new moon eclipse energy that's going on right now. We're going to do a little bit of a journal. We're going to do a tarot card pull. I love working with tarot cards, and if you're afraid of them, it's okay. I will go over them and kind of explain, what we're doing. And then we'll just do like a little bit of a meditation, and if you feel called to, you can share. So at this time, I'm going to give you guys just like a couple of, like a minute or so to grab anything that you might need, just like a journal. I've got my journal here, a pen. If you have paper, that also works well. If you want to use any crystals, if you love working with crystals, sage, anything that you're going to need that you want to have on hand, go ahead and grab that now. I chose to keep a little tiger's eye sphere next to me. You guys can see that. Tiger's eye is a stone that correlates really well with Sagittarius energy. It also correlates really well with Gemini energy, and I'm a Gemini, so I just love this stone. It's very mesmerizing to look at, so I'm going to keep it with me. It's also very grounding. And during this kind of eclipse energy, we want to have things that are very grounding for us. I also have a little piece of sage here, so I'm just going to light this. That way we have some clear energy for us to work with right now. It's Monday. Mondays can tend to be a little hectic as it is, so we'll just kind of sage our area. That way we're working with some clean energy. All right. Okay, so let's get started. So we're going to go through the signs. If you don't know your sign, please look it up. If you want to put it in the Zoom chat, I would love to hear everyone's sign. Like I said, I'm a Gemini, but we're going to go through all of them just so that everyone has a fair share of learning what their horoscopes are. Oh, awesome. Amanda, you're a Taurus. That's great. Cool. So for Aries, this new moon is really asking you to look at your ventures, your projects, your plans. It wants you to reset the agenda about far-reaching beliefs and ideas, things that you maybe have said, I can't do this, it's too much. Really expecting new opportunities, especially those involving bettering your advancement in the world. So any like big goal or dream that you've had, don't get rid of those dreams. Those are going to be really important. They're going to be coming up. The universe is going to help you achieve them. Oh, awesome. Libra, Aquarius, Virgo, Scorpio rising. Ooh, guys, I'm so excited. Okay, so now we're moving on to Taurus. I know we've got some Tauruses. So this new moon is all about collaborations for you, which is so awesome. We've been so isolated this whole year, 2020, with COVID and everything. So for Taurus, really focusing on collaborating with people, whether it's virtually, over the phone, whatever you can do right now, given the guidelines and keeping your health in mind, but really collaborating with others. Think about how you share what you have with other people. If you've been preparing something in solitude, if you have, been thinking of a business venture, anything, whatever it is, figure out how you can incorporate other people into that. Involving those around you, reaching out to people, maybe getting a mentor, that would be awesome. But you're really going through a major reboot here, Tauruses. So have that courage and welcome this transformation. Don't fight it. For Gemini, this is all about relationships, and there's a lot of potential here for a lot of changes to occur. So if you're in a relationship that's not working, maybe it's time to, get out of any toxic cycles that you've been in. Friendship and community are super important during this time. So finding like social activities, group interests, maybe it's a Facebook group, maybe it's, a virtual group that you can hang out in online once a week, but really finding the time to do things with other people. And also focus on finding that balance between independence and interdependence. This was huge. This was a big learning curve for me, but with the independence and interdependence play, this plays for Gemini and Sagittarius as well during this period, but you really want to find out how you can be yourself and embody your full self while being in a partnership, or while you're with your friends. We kind of tend to turn into the people that we hang out with the most. We tend to take on their personalities, their habits, and really trying to stay yourself despite being with other people. That's really important for Geminis right now. Cancers, I know we've got some Cancers here. This new moon has a focus on work, health, and lifestyle for you. So finding routines that can kickstart your day. Routines are going to be really important for Cancers right now, and provide you with focus so that you can achieve everything on your to-do list. Remember that your body hears everything your mind says. So Cancer, this is a really good time to focus on how you talk to yourself and that internal health and that internal dialogue. Leos, this moon is encouraging you to focus on love, your passions, creativity. How can you find pleasure in the world, Leo? So remember that inspirations can come from anywhere. This is your time to express your most authentic self. Leos are, awesome, fiery signs, but it's really important to find your passions and express those. I think with 2020, we've all been, so isolated, so just not able to, I don't know if everyone feels this way, but I feel like a lot of people have been very stifled, just feeling like, there's so much going on and it's so crazy, and how can you really find your passion and creativity during this time? But for Leos, that's going to be really important for you. Virgos, This new moon focuses on your sense of place and security. Security is a key word there for Virgos. It encourages you to look at your family, any connections to your roots or your lineages, things like ancestry.com. That just comes up, like looking at your ancestry, your roots, where you're from, your home. Remembering that the more that you do out in society, the more you really need to ground yourself at home. So for Virgos, it's really important. Any type of grounding rituals, anything that can make you feel really secure wherever you are is going to be important for you. Libras, this new moon has a focus on your beliefs and your way of thinking. Connect with your inner circle of friends, pay attention to how you communicate with those closest to you. A shift in your tone or mindset may be a refreshing new beginning for you. So stay curious and stay open. If you haven't noticed, a lot of the signs are kind of pulling in this idea of like collaboration and connecting with friends and connecting with people. We've been so isolated for 9-10 months. It's really important that we start collaborating with others and getting out of that social isolation and really just like in whatever way we can connect with other people, because that is such an important part of our health. I will say there's like a lot of research on, longevity and people who live really long lives and healthy and happy lives. And one of the common things that we've found for people who live like to be over 100 is that they all have strong family structures and they all have strong like connections with the outside world, friends, they do things. So it's really important that we continue to do things that we love and connect with other people, whether it's virtually, in person, whatever you can at this time, because isolation can actually lead to illness. So sorry, that was a little side rant. But Scorpio, new moon, this new moon for Scorpio, is all about money and material aspects. You should really simulate confidence in how you draw abundance to yourself. So you're kind of focusing on how can you bring in abundance? What can you do to make gains during this moon cycle? How can you reevaluate your money stories? So many of us have these just like lack money stories. I don't have enough money. I need more money for this. I need more money for this. How can you rewrite that story? Be grateful and attract more abundance into your life, so that you can really embody what you're worth. If you're someone who's in like the service industry or have been working on like a new business venture, but you're not sure, what to charge for your services, this is really focusing on like what you're worth, getting your money's worth for what you're worth and all the work that you're putting in, because you are worth it. Sagittarius, this new moon is asking you to pay attention to how you express your truth and authenticity. Identify what you want, what sets you alight, what brings you happiness. The eclipse ushers in a new chapter of self-discovery. So Sagittariuses are really going to be feeling this new moon pretty strongly, and the eclipse as well. Really, it's just like a whole new start for anyone who's a Sagittarius. And if you are, this is your birth month, so happy birthday. All right, Capricorns, this new moon has a strong focus on closure, healing, sacrifice, and surrender. There's a lot going on in Capricorn. We're ending a 3-year cycle of Saturn in Capricorn right now. So this is just like a huge closing, healing, moving beyond that hurt and recovering from any of the hard times that you may have experienced over the past actually 3 years, if you're, and if you have any of your signs in Capricorn, because this is a huge transitional period. Use your intuition to soothe and heal yourself. Focus on meditation and embracing this new reality. Meditation is going to be huge for anyone who is a Capricorn sun or rising. It's very important to go inwards and reflect and really try to heal. Aquariuses, this new moon encourages you to look into humanitarian and social issues. Communication is going to be really important for Aquariuses right now. So talk about something that matters to you, and don't be afraid to dream bigger. Sometimes we don't always think that, one person, could change the world, but really that's all that ever has. One person's idea is what we've come up, has made everything happen as it has today. So don't don't be afraid to really dream bigger and find out what you can do to help humanity as a whole. And Pisces, the last of the signs, this new moon is about ambition and advancement for you. It's a ideal time for you to set an intention, to ask yourself, how can you achieve these goals? Success, praise, recognition in your field are important to you during this moon cycle. And this is really like your time to be noticed. So really awesome things coming with Pisces. We can always go back to these slides if anybody needs me to when we move on. Just let me know. But now we're going to journal. So I just want everyone to take out their journal, turn to a clean page, and I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes. And all I want you guys to do is free journal. Typically with a new moon, we'd be writing down our, manifestations, our intentions, but with the eclipse, we don't really want to do that. We kind of want to go inside and just heal whatever needs to be healed, let the universe do its work. So I'm going to set my timer and I'm going to journal with you guys. But it's just going to be 5 minutes. And when I say free journal, this is literally anything that comes to mind. So if you took notes about your sign, maybe you can expand on those or see what comes up for you, or any ideas or anything that kind of came up while I was talking in the past couple of slides. If you need me to go back to a slide, that's totally fine. You can just type it in the chat and I'll go back. But turn to a clean page and the timer starts now. Okay. So that was 5 minutes. Hopefully you guys journal a little bit. I definitely wrote down a lot of things that kind of came up. So you can either, go to the bottom of your page or turn to a new page, but we're just going to do one more little journaling activity. I'm just going to give you guys like 2 minutes or so for this one. It's a little bit short, but I want everyone to write down 3 things that you want to release, because we've talked about the eclipse energy. It's really like this cosmic reboot, which is can be turbulent. It can be a little bit daunting, but it's so amazing to just release all of this stuff that's kind of been weighing down on you. And really, like, the universe is just saying, let go of it all, let go of whatever is not serving you. So try to write down 3 things that you want to let go of. This could be feelings of fear, things like self-doubt, any beliefs that you have that are self-limiting. A big one is around like financial stuff typically, or saying that your idea is too big, I couldn't possibly do that. Those type of like limiting beliefs we want to let go of. Any pain or suffering that you've experienced, maybe the past couple of months have been really hard on you. So kind of just jotting down what comes to you, 3 things that you want to let go of. So we'll do a timer for 2 minutes for this. All right, and you guys can start. Okay. All right, so hopefully you guys feel a little bit lighter, a little bit better now that you've kind of let those things out, those, more lower energy, low vibe thoughts. So these are just a couple of questions that I kind of want us, we're not going to write them down. It's more of like a meditation that we're going to go through. But first, I want everyone to just take a few deep breaths of like clearing energy. So in through your nose, and then out through your mouth, and just kind of let it all go. So we're going to do that 3 times. Ready? In through your nose. Hold it at the top for a second, and out through your mouth. One more. And then one more time. Good. So if you feel any stagnant energy, you can kind of just shake it out. now that we're in like a little bit clearer of a headspace, just connecting back to like our creative side. So I want you to think, what can you do during this lunar cycle that's going to be creative? The holidays are coming up. Maybe you can make someone a gift rather than purchase a gift. There you can draw, you can paint, you can dance, you can, however you express yourself, yoga. Think about how you can get creative during the next couple of weeks. Another one is, what is one thing that you can do over the next 4 weeks to be bold? So Sagittarius energy is bold, it's fiery, it's adventurous. What's something that you can do to be bold? Maybe it's doing something, spontaneous, trying ice skating after, years of not being on skates. I don't know, just think of something, maybe it's something that you've always wanted to do, just haven't really had like that oomph to do it. Now is that time to be bold, go do something different that you have always wanted to do. Next, how can you prepare yourself for this transition into winter? So like I said before, Sagittarius is a mutable sign. We are transitioning into the winter, into, the winter solstice is on the 21st. So what can you do to prepare yourself for the winter? We've got a snowstorm coming, maybe this week, who knows? We'll see what actually happens. But, do you have a wood fireplace? Maybe you need to go chop some wood. Do you have, maybe it's just like going out and getting hot chocolate because that's what you want to have during your winter season. Just how can you prepare yourself? Switching out your summer clothes to your winter clothes if you haven't done that already. Those types of things. What is, for the last question to just think about while we're sitting here, what is something new that you can learn or do? So again, Sagittarius energy encourages us to explore, to learn, to think a little bit. So is there something that you've always wanted to learn to do? Maybe it's a certain dance. Maybe you wanted to learn how to line dance. I don't know. Or ride a motorcycle, or anything that, maybe it's just drawing or cooking a new recipe or something along those lines, something that's new for you. Learning a new skill, knitting, maybe taking some classes online. There's a lot of really amazing websites that you can go to that have classes that are super cheap. But thinking about something that you can do that's going to help propel you as a person forward, a new skill to take on the world with, something along those lines. All right, so now that we've kind of journaled, thought a lot about what we can do for the next month, I'm just going to pull a little tarot card here, and this is going to tell us like kind of just a little guide for the next lunar cycle. So the way, if you're not familiar with tarot, the way it works is that tarot cards, tarot itself is basically a mirror for what's going on in your life and what's going on in the world. It's not something that, if you're not comfortable doing it, a lot of people have like these like kind of like scary negative connotations about tarot. This is not something that is totally predicting your future. You have free will. You can always change what's going on in your life. Tarot cards are more of just like guidance for decisions, a little bit of clarity on certain situations. I love using tarot just because sometimes when you have like a lot of anxiety about something, you can pull a card and it helps you understand what's going on just a little bit better than if you didn't pull one. I know for me as well, I have a lot of air signs in my chart, and that tends to make me kind of get into my own head. My thoughts get jumbled around. If you think about like winds moving everywhere, that's kind of what it feels like inside my brain sometimes. So helping me pull a tarot card really helps me like get into my body and be like, okay, all of these thoughts that are slightly irrational that can be spinning around, we're going to push those out and we're going to see what's really going on here. So I'm using this deck. It is called the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. So it's not traditional tarot. I think these are really fun. They're really pretty. And I'm just going to shuffle the cards a little bit. And we're just going to ask the universe, you know, what do we need to know? What's coming up for us? What's standing out? What is the collective energy telling us for this lunar cycle? All right. All right, so we got the butterfly. You guys see that? All right. So I'm just going to read from the book what the butterfly is, what it says. It's funny because it is an air sign. So I was just talking about that air energy going on. All right, the butterfly. Undergoing great change and transformation. The energy of the butterfly is with us during periods of transition. Since air is the element of the heart, this change usually involves relationships, or if you love your job, perhaps your career. Since transition is accompanied by some amount of discomfort, be extra patient and kind during this time, especially if the butterfly is you. Let solid friends and activities support you like a cocoon. Committing to one daily routine, whether it's a meal, a practice, or a prayer done at the same time and same place, will do wonders for lifting a butterfly's spirit. Excuse me. So this, I think, pairs so well with all of what we were talking about before. We noticed that all of the signs kind of had this idea of like collaboration and connecting with others and transformation. So that's kind of what this card is talking about, just letting your friends, letting your activities, everything kind of support you like the cocoon supports the butterfly during this transformational period, and really just growing into, you know, the magnificent being that the butterfly is. So I love this card. I think that was very fitting, and hopefully it resonates with you guys as well. So now I would just like, if anyone would like to come on and share, maybe you want to share in the chat, or maybe you want to actually speak. Again, you don't have to, I'm not going to call on anyone, but sometimes when we journal, when we kind of, we're like passively manifesting, you know, the things that we want to release, it really helps to share it out loud, because sharing your goals out loud to a group increases that power of manifestation. Because now not only are you manifesting for yourself, but you've got all of the people on this group who are going to be helping you, you know, with that, just like intentions and letting go of what you want to let go of. So would anybody like to share? It's okay if you don't want to. No. Okay. If anyone decides that they want to share in the next like minute or two, that's totally fine. Just pop on camera and cut me off. But I just want to say thank you so much for coming to this little moon ritual circle, whatever you like to call it. I hope that you guys come to the next one. We're going to do one on the new moon next month, and then again in February. Those will change based on, you know, the new moon and what's going on in the universe at the time. But whether or not you like to work with the moon, or just do things on your own time when you feel like it, like I said before, spiritual health is so important. So don't forget to meditate. Don't forget to just getting back into your body, kind of grounding yourself, especially during the next couple of weeks with the eclipse energy going on, and really just focusing on your health, because the healthier that we are, the more mentally sound that we are, the healthier the collective is, and the more mentally sound the collective is. If that makes any sense, you know, to anyone, but it's true. If you think about, you know, when you're not feeling good, it can seem like everything is kind of going in a whirlwind and life kind of just happens to you. But when you're feeling great, everything starts to fall into place. And that's so true. The energy that you have is energy that you're going to attract. So making sure that you're in that good, positive state of mind, good energy is going to flow towards you. So thank you guys all for coming.
Thank you so much, Dana. I just want to thank everyone for coming. It was so informative, and it was so relaxing as well. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for everyone coming today. Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone. Stay healthy, stay safe.